The RCA competition for designing eyewear is all about creating something interesting for a specific person or a specific environment with originality but also practicality as well.
Some of the students are fashion students, some of the students are accessory students, some of them are textile students. This year we've got a new brief called Visionary. So the students were asked to think about who was their wearer and what their kind of activities are in the day. How the wearer might be influenced by these frames. It might change the way that they see or the way that they are seen.
I think the really interesting thing is making them think in a different type of way. So rather than thinking from a completely creative angle, thinking about fit, thinking about optics and thinking about practicality and weaving that into the creative narrative that they're used to doing.
Fashion students usually dealing with the whole body, gets them just focusing down on a smaller area of design and thinking how they can get their aesthetic into a different arena.
I've been doing it for 4 years now, I think, and each year gets better.
Every year the quality of entrance is absolutely amazing, and this year's no exception.
It's been fantastic. The calibre of the entrance is very high. I was surprised how much the students had thought about optics as well as just kind of aesthetic and design and function.
I think of it in terms of materials, and if you see all the material samples, I get very excited to see that they've made their own materials or they've experimented fixing different surfaces together that maybe haven't been done before. And just seeing how polished their work looks.
It's inspiring. I mean, these are young people with a creative and interesting and new idea about what optics is about and what eyewear is about, and they sometimes have a completely different vision to what I've experienced over the last 25 years.
The way that we chose it in terms of the judging was that they were thinking more about the actual context of these frames. Who's going to wear them? What kind of activities does this person do? It was meant to be a little bit more scientific this year. I'm not sure whether that's come through in the work, but we've got interesting results.
Well, we narrow it down to 6 people who go through to the final, and they're all presented at 100% optical, and then we all vote and decide according to what the general feedback is and what our personal feedback is.
It was very difficult to make a shortlist. And it's sad, really, that we do have to choose one. I think we're going to be arguing a lot on the final day.
The next thing for the 6 that we've whittled it down to is to turn their prototypes into slightly more advanced prototypes, kind of refine and hone their ideas, distill the essence of what is quite a kind of wide range of concepts into something tangible at 100%.
It amazes me what some of these young people can actually do. And they can do a lot.
There's so much more that we can bring to eyewear. It feels like things have developed and we've done a million things over the last century, but there's so much more to do, just in terms of the materials, the technology, the functionality of eyewear. We're only scratching the surface now, so to get all these brilliantly creative people involved in eyewear is amazing.
Well, the interesting thing is going to be how the students now take on the prototypes which we've seen and move them on before the end of the competition. There's some real kernels of really interesting ideas there, so it'd be great to see how they grow between now and start next year.
It's nice to see what young designers are coming up with, and they've had no exposure to the optical industry, and so it's good to get a completely fresh approach. I take a lot from it, really.
It's been a whole lot of fun. We've tried on some really wacky styles, some interesting materials.
It's an interesting project. We're all sort of mature people and been in the industry a long time, and it's really great to see what young people are coming up with, and that's what we need in this industry because it's such an old-fashioned industry. We need fresh blood all the time.